I want to address a little follow up here to a video that I made a few days ago regarding Russell Wilson and KJ Wright. Now, if you'll remember, I went on a pretty long winded rant about Russell Wilson's former teammates, basically going on various media platforms and talking a bunch of crap and allowing their personal bias and displeasure with Russell Wilson to seep in and affect their coverage that, at least on national media platforms, is supposed to be subjective. I have no problem with you voicing your displeasure on your own podcast, i.e., Richard Sherman, but if you're going to go on Good Morning Football like former Seahawks linebacker KJ Wright did, I do feel like you should probably at least keep your opinions somewhat objective, but that's not what the nature of that show really is anymore. It used to be, but not anymore. So, I feel like this was an example of. So I feel like for me, this was a big lesson to learn in my early stages of my sports journalism career. I'm taking obviously a non-traditional path with it, as I don't have media credentials. I never went to journalism school. I'm trying to approach it on the YouTube platform and really trying to break out and establish myself on the YouTube platform as my main platform to cover the Denver Broncos on. So, in doing so, I rely on quite a bit of secondary information, articles from other media sources who do have direct access to the team that I don't have, so on and so forth. And I also rely on tweets a lot that I see on the internet to get information that I use to bring to you guys ultimately here on the YouTube platform. I almost think of it sort of as like the sports report on the news, if you will. And this tweet that I saw crossed my eyes from, I believe it was Dov Kleiman. He does a bunch of NFL breaking news updates and stuff on Twitter. He's just a really good source for mass information that I ultimately can bring to you guys. And he tweeted a clip of KJ Wright's appearance on the Good Morning Football podcast, where KJ basically said that this trade has the chance to go down as the biggest trade heist of all time. Now, obviously, you could see why that would stir up Broncos country, because I don't feel like this has the chance to go down as the worst trade heist of all time. This will never beat the Herschel Walker trade. Frankly, I feel like the Deshaun Watson trade has the potential to go down as even worse than the Russell Wilson trade for the Denver Broncos. But it could also, it seems in year one to have backfired in the Denver Broncos' face. Here's hoping with Sean Payton now being here that will no longer be the case, but only time will tell. However, what was failed to be mentioned here in this video that was posted on Twitter, and a lot of articles that I've seen on the internet talking about this subject, is right before KJ said this, he also significantly praised Russell Wilson. He said that Broncos country is in good hands with Russell Wilson and that he's got the opportunity to be the comeback player of the year next year. But last year it was not good enough, and if we see a repeat of last year, it could go down as the worst trade heist of all time. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that statement, but that's a lot better than him just coming out and saying that this could be the worst trade heist of all time and just crapping on Russell Wilson without giving him any compliments or any of his due respect that he absolutely deserves. And KJ did that, and I did not see that KJ did that, and I want to acknowledge that I was wrong in that situation to completely crap on KJ without hearing the full context of the conversation and without hearing the full reasoning behind why he said what he said. And I was wrong in making that assumption that he was intending on slandering Russell Wilson, and he probably low-key was, but it wasn't as blatant and as bad as I thought it was initially, just based on hearing the minute and 30-second clip on Twitter. Once I went and actually listened to the full, like 3 or 4 minutes of what he said on Russell Wilson, KJ Wright actually sounded completely rational and wasn't like Richard Sherman, who has gone on and repeatedly attacked Russell Wilson on a personal level, both on his podcast and on national media platforms. So, I mean, this for me was a big lesson to learn here as I continue to go into my sports coverage career. And I want to apologize to any of my viewers here that may have been misled by that information. Um, I am going to keep that video up. I don't really believe in deleting videos unless it's something just absolutely false. I don't feel like this was absolutely false, but I did want to at least address a bit of a follow up to that video and kind of go into why I was wrong to make assumptions before I had the full side of the story and I had all bits of information that I needed to make a sound decision. So, a lesson learned there and something that I will strive to be better at as I go forward in my media career.